was actually, okay. Just now when I was talking, right, it's more on the WordPress, okay? Now I'm talking about Wix. I'm not sure anyone heard about Wix before. All right. To be frank, when I first started, I used Wix. Okay, why is that so? Because between Wix and WordPress, I feel that Wix has a nicer design lah. When I first started last time, and Wix is much more friendly. Okay, meaning that you can just drag and drop without any knowledge of the coding. Okay. Then secondly, right, it's all in one. All in one meaning what? Hosting, templates, SEO basics, and security. Everything is in one. So anything if not right, don't worry, you just have to give them a chat. Now everything is in chat already. It's no longer chatbot lah. Okay. Uh, okay. So it's no longer like for WordPress, we have to do everything ourselves. Okay. Then it's quick to launch, can be ready in hours. Once you get your template ready, everything is there already. So if you want a faster way, of course, Wix will be better. Okay. Then decent templates, like what I mentioned, right? Actually, Wix has decent templates. Usually designers will like Wix a lot now because of the design. But of course, currently along the way, you realize that for WordPress, their design is getting better and better also. Okay, so you have to see what is your objective from there lah. Do you prefer Wix or WordPress? Then lastly, the ad market. Okay, what is ad market? Ad market is like your similar to plugins. All right, let's say you want to have WhatsApp, WhatsApp icon. You want to have certain plugins like SEO plugins. All right, so everything is there. Okay. Mm. Okay, of course, every time you have pros, you will have the 5 limitations. Okay, what are the 5 limitations for Wix? You can't fully control back-end code or hosting. Example, let's say for my case, last time when I used to have Wix, a lot of things I cannot control. If I don't like the hosting, let's say I feel that hosting is not very, hosting with Wix, sometimes it can be very slow. Or this is what I encounter lah, okay? So I cannot fully control, okay? Then for scalability, right, not very idle for large or complex sites. So actually, basically, they have some restriction for Wix lah, okay? Okay, maintenance requires ongoing maintenance for best performance. Okay, this one is quite similar to your WordPress. Okay, at the end of the day, you still need to go through the maintenance for best performance. All right. Yes, like what I mentioned, SEO limitations are not as, it's quite limited compared to WordPress. Okay. And the lastly, if you realize for long-term cost, okay, what is the long-term cost? Long-term cost, if you realize for monthly fees, it can exceed WordPress cost over time for the same feature. Example for myself, last time when I started with Wix, I just do a very, very basic a Wix website. But ongoing, right, I realized I want to sell certain things. I want to sell my art and craft. Then what happened is I have to upgrade. And I think while upgrading, right, if I didn't remember wrongly, I have to pay around 400 plus. Yeah, depends on what plan you use. Around 400 plus USD, although it's per year lah, but also not cheap. Consider if you compare with WordPress. But WordPress is different because WordPress, there are certain plugins whereby, example, you want to sell certain things, right? So actually you can use let's say WooCommerce. This is one of the plugin for WordPress. You don't need to have extra cost from there. So after that, along the way, I slowly change Wix to WordPress. All right. Okay, so in this case, which one to choose? What do you think? I've used both already. All right, should I use WordPress or Wix? Now for WordPress, right, if you want maximum control meaning what? Let's say you don't like the hosting company, you want to change to another hosting company, maybe it's cheaper or maybe it's better, you can do that. Okay. And also I mentioned, right, if you want to have like e-commerce, you want to sell certain things, you can use plugins. All right. So at the end of the day, if you do not have to add in so much of customization, all right, actually WordPress is quite good. Okay. And most of the programmers actually use WordPress lah. All right. But if you're going to use Wix, Wix is actually very simple. You just have to log into your Google and then you can use already. It's very quick. Okay, so if you do not want any headache, actually you can use Wix. Okay, but of course, you must know that you have to host with Wix already. That's the pros and cons lah. So one thing you have to take note, although WordPress is quite, last time is much more difficult to use, but currently along the way, WordPress slightly it becomes beginner friendly. But at the end of the day, WordPress is still more technical than Wix. Okay, so far so good. Okay, then we shall talk about the domain and hosting. Domain and hosting. Okay, just now I mentioned about domain and hosting. If you realize I mentioned about hosting a lot. So what is exactly domain and hosting? Now, these are the two essentials before you build your website. All right. First and foremost, what is domain? Now, domain is like your home address, your website address, okay? Your home address, okay, where people can find you. Example, let's say I want to have asktraining.com.sg, correct? So in this case, this is our domain name already. So for this domain name, you must know that if let's say you're doing business, right, you must reflect your business name, okay? So that people will remember your domain, okay? Yeah, these are examples of domain lah. YouTube.com, Google.com, Netflix.com, Instagram.com. These are domain. Some domain, of course, they don't stop at .com. They might have .com.sg, .org, organization, or maybe .edu. Okay, so these are called domain names. Okay, now why domain name is very important. Now imagine you don't have a home address, then how are people going to find you? All right. So first and foremost, you must make sure your domain name is easy to remember. And don't forget, sometimes we have our company, let's say our company's name, let's say if you have sound spacing, let's say Winnie Cupcakes, let's say. All right. So when Winnie Cupcakes might sound very good, but if you join the text together, how does it look like? Okay. So make sure it's easy to remember. All right. You must give people a very simple, memorable way to find your website instead of a long IP address. Okay. Okay. Then builds credibility. Okay. One thing about domain, right? Try not to use dash. Some people they just put cupcakes dash Winnie. Okay. Why is that so? Because the moment you put dash, what happened is people might think this is not a legit company. All right. It might be a scam. Okay, so make sure your business or project look professional and trustworthy lah. Okay, so far so good. Okay, and strengthens your brand, matches your name or service so people instantly can connect to you. So example, let's say for my case, let's say I'm coming with cupcakes. I'm selling cupcakes. So what happened is the moment they want cupcakes, who do they remember? Do they remember me or not? Okay, so try to keep your domain less than 14 characters, 14 characters, less than that, because people cannot remember so much. All right, so remember these two things, less than 14 characters, as well as no dash, no dashes in the middle of the domain name. Okay, so of course, these are the domain registrars where you can look for. They have GoDaddy, Bluehost, SiteGround, Shopify. All right, Shopify you still host with Shopify lah. All right, then domain.com and name.com. It's up to you to choose. SiteGround is quite good lah. I think SiteGround is quite good. Just that sometimes it can be a little bit pricey. So while if you're going to purchase your domain, you have to make sure whether it's US dollars or SGD. All this thing you have to take note. So far so good. Okay, let me just quickly switch my screen. I'll just quickly show you something. All right. Okay, if you want, right, next time you can go to GoDaddy. Of course, there are different ones lah, but you can try GoDaddy.com. Okay. Now, let's say if I want to look for Winnie Cupcakes, you can type over here, Winnie Cupcakes, and you can search your domains. Okay, why this is very important? Because you know why? Before you start your own business, right, you must make sure no one has taken the address, the domain name. If someone else has taken your domain name, then what happened? Are you going to change your business name or are you going to change your domain name? But if your business name and your domain name is totally different, then what happened is people cannot remember. Okay, let me have a quick, yeah, okay, great. All right. So, if you have time, you just go to GoDaddy.com. Yeah. In case you see something like 9 cents, right? Don't feel that it's very cheap and you just make it yours straight away. Okay. You have to be very careful, huh? Okay. Because sometimes they got mentioned, if you realize it says first year term only. First year means you have to buy 3 years lah. Okay. Okay. I shall move on to my slides. Yeah. So this is the very first thing. The domain registrars. Okay. Now, the next one we are talking about is the hosting. Now, what is hosting? If you remember, right, just now we taught domain. Domain means what? Our street address. Okay, the domain name, the web address. But hosting means what? Imagine if you have if you have a street address and you do not have a house to stay, then how are people going to look for you? Okay, so this is like hosting. Hosting is like renting space on the internet to store all your website. So that when people type in www.winniecupcakes.com, what happened? They're able to view my websites, my images, my data, and my contents. Okay, so this is hosting. So why hosting is important? Like what I mentioned, right? Without hosting, what happened? Your your website users has nowhere, your website has nowhere to live, and it cannot be accessed by visitors already. When people go into your website, you get your domain already, then people type in winnie.com, but they are not able to find me. Okay, so actually website hosting is very important. All right, and lastly, stores all your website data. Like your images, your content, so that they can look for visitors to view your website. So these are some of the hosting providers. Vodian is a local provider lah. Vodian. Last time I used to use Bluehost. Actually, Bluehost is quite good also. That's how I use Bluehost because it's cheaper lah. But like what I mentioned, certain things you have to take note because certain things is in USD lah. So you must read the terms. How does it looks like? Sometimes they'll keep changing, so you have to be very careful. So far, so good. All right. So conclusion. Two things, two essential, just to recap very quickly. The first essential is you need to have your domain. It means that you have to purchase your domain. Usually for domain name, right, it's usually 1 year. Okay, so before the renewal date, you have to renew first. Because if you did renew, what happened is your domain name might not able to use already. Someone else might purchase your domain name. So you have to be very careful. Okay. The second thing is the hosting, where you place your file. So you have to purchase two things, domain and hosting. All right. So choose the right domain provider and hosting provider. Okay. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to show you a very short one, a very quick one for the website setup for WordPress and Wix. Then you'll decide which one is easier. Of course, Wix is much easier because you can just log into Gmail lah, but WordPress slightly different, slightly different. Although there's a WordPress.com for you to use also if you want WordPress.com. Okay. Okay. Let me end show and I just quickly show you. Okay. Now let's say you're starting with Wix. You just have to type in Wix.com. All right. This is how you get it. So usually they will ask you to sign in your Gmail. Okay. So let's say I go to create a new website. Yeah, create site. You see, I already do. All right. So I go to create new site. Okay, let's say I set up without the chat lah. I just run through very quickly. Now, do you realize over here that mention what type of website do you want to create? Now, let's say I want to create a cupcake shop because I'm selling cupcakes, let's say. Okay, so you can just click on it and then you continue. This is Wix, Wix, drag and drop. Now, what is the name of your business? If you have already thought what is the name of your business, then you can type in. All right, but I won't really go through all this lah, huh? To save time, for yourself, you can just continue. But if not, you can skip for now. All right, I just show you the drag and drop. All right. Okay, let's see how easy is Wix. Now you realize on your left, these are all the menu. Yeah, these are all the menu on your left. And then on your right, you realize there's a design site, top right corner. Okay, so when you click on the top right corner, there's a design site. They will ask you, do you want to generate a design with AI or customize a template? Okay, later I'll show you, I generated a design with AI lah. I tried before. But of course, if you generate with AI, it's much simpler, but sometimes might not what you want. So you have to prompt properly. Okay, when you do the prompt. Now, let's say I want to pick a template. Let's say. So I click on pick a template. All right. Now, do you realize they have very, very nice, okay, to me, I think it's quite nice. They have all these nice templates you can use. So they have page 2, page 3, all right? You can find from there. Okay, let's say I do a simple one. Let's say I just click on this one. Do you see edit? Edit. I just click on edit. Mm. Use Wix, yeah, wix.com. Okay, I just type inside the chat. All right. Yeah, sometimes have to wait a while. Yeah, so this is what I meant. Sometimes I feel that when I use Wix, sometimes the loading time a little bit slow. All right. Okay, now everything you realize is AI. Okay, sometimes we might not have the time to do some contents, so you can generate your site text over here. How you can type in the prompt over here. Let's say a personalized cupcake. All right, you can type in over here. Okay, okay. For now, I just close. Now, do you see this? I think quite decent, right? So far. All right, it's quite decent. Okay, let me run through the tabs on the left so that you roughly know what to look for. Okay? Okay, first, now if you take a look at the tab on your left, you realize they have plus, the add elements. So for these add elements, you're able to add your text. Do you see text? Different types of text. They have theme text, titles, a paragraph, correct? So let's say, like I just show you very quickly. Let's say if I want the big title. Do you see the big title come out already? So you can place anywhere. You see, it's very simple for Wix. You can place everywhere. Uh, all right. Then I can put maybe sweet trees, let's say. Okay. And if you realize the moment I type in, do you realize there's a box coming up over here? There's a heading 2, heading 1, heading 2. All right. So we try to keep the heading consistent. Example, let's say you have heading 1, welcome to uh, Winnie Cupcakes. Let's say, what is the second header that you want to add in? Maybe new recipes coming up soon. So you have to decide which one is heading 1, which one is heading 2 for consistency use. All right. So they have all the headings here. So if you want to make changes to the, let's say to the fonts, you can just click from here. So it's very simple for Wix. It's very straightforward. Okay. Then you have italic, underline, everything is here already. Huh? It's like your it's like a little bit like Microsoft Word lah. Okay. Then what we have, we still have the image. Yeah, image. All right. So for the images, right, you can upload your images. You can upload your images from here. If you have your own images, yeah, upload from your computer if you want. Okay. Yeah. So I just do a very simple one. Let's say I just click on this. I just open. Then it upload already. It's very fast. Very simple. Just drag and drop. There you go. You can add to page already. It's there. So it's very straightforward. And you can even resize it very simply and place it anywhere. So if you feel that, okay, this is not what we want, you just have to backspace. All right. Then they also have buttons where you're able to choose. Okay, button is very important because that's the call to action. All right. Later we'll talk more about that. Okay. Then we have strip. Strip is like example, you know, you want to put some text um, behind the on this strip. All right. Then decorative. Decorative is more on like basic shapes, vertical lines, featured icons. If you realize they have nice animal nature, do you realize all this illustration, batches, all that? Uh, Later after this seminar webinar, right? Probably you all can try out Wix.com also. Then they have boxes, they have gallery. Okay, what is gallery? Also very simple. You see, what I have to do is I just have to drag and drop. That's all. I just have to drag and drop, then it will appear. Okay, so these are all gallery. And in case you want to add extra section meaning what? Now we have all this thing over here already. This is the gallery. All right. If you scroll further down, you hover, there's add section. So in case you want to add section based on maybe new recipes, whatever is new featured, you can add section. Then the box will come up. That's why Wix is very simple. You can add element, you can design section, everything comes from here on your left. Okay, so we go back to the plus. Yeah, so you can just hover, like you can go to the menu, contact form. They also have contact form. You can find from here. Video, music, whereby you can, let's say if you upload any files from your YouTube, yeah, for your YouTube, you can actually click, put the link inside. Yeah, just change the video to the link. So what I can do is just drag and drop. Do you see? It's just as simple as that. Yeah, very simple. All right. So from here, right, you realize there's a settings. There's also a settings. Okay. But don't worry about that because as you can see, there are a few elements on your left whereby you're able to choose the menu. And when you click on certain elements, the settings will appear. These are the two things you just have to take note. Okay, one is on the left. The other one is when you click on any image or any of the video, the settings will appear. Okay, then you can decide what you want from there already. Okay, you can change layout. Okay, so you can play with all the settings. All right. Mm. Okay, so I think quite, yeah, yeah, these are all the things we have lah. Even for social media icons, everything is there already. All right. Okay, then you also have add section. Just now I mentioned already. Everything is drag and drop. Everything is drag and drop. All right. Then we also have site pages and menu. Okay, site pages and menu, right? You realize that they have like home, shop. Okay, the element that you have to take note is the three dots. Why? Because the three dots, you can actually delete the page. You can change this to a sub page. You can have from menu. It's up to you. Have from menu meaning what? Probably you don't want to show in the menu first because you KIV. Maybe you want to use it next time. You can hide without deleting the page. All right. Now everything is there. So when you go back, you can try out from here lah. Site team. This is what I meant by the Wix market. Wix market. Do you see WhatsApp chat? Uh, A little bit like your, can I say a little bit like your, Google Play, uh, or your app, okay? So you can install from here. So make sure it's free. You all have to read carefully lah. Or some are not free. All right? Yeah. So you just click on the left, you'll see what you want already. But of course, certain things, if you go for member or that table reservations, right, you might need to have upgrade your weeks already. Then you have to pay already. Okay? So it depends on what you want. It might be very costly lah if you have all the membership, all that. So far, okay. Now. Let me see. Should be all right. Okay, so besides that, like what I mentioned, let me have a look very quickly. Okay. Yes, correct. Wix is for designing, it's like web builder, and GoDaddy is for domain lah. But although GoDaddy you can build your website also, they have web builder also, but it's quite different from much less control lah. Lesser control. All right. Okay, just now I got mentioned about the menus on the left, and I mentioned that when you click on it, you just have to focus on the settings. Okay, then and the layout, you can try all this thing, and the designing part. Okay. Besides that, right, the third one that you are going to take note will be your menu. Okay, why menu very important? Because you need to have the home page, about us page, and at least you should have a contact page. Am I right? So where's the menu? The menu is actually right on top. The menu is right on top. Okay, then you can go to your manage page. Yeah. Do you find this familiar? You can also add your menu item. Is it a new page? Uh, you can choose from here. All right. Yeah. If you want to delete, do you realize when I click on the homes, they also have SEO basics? Got settings, got SEO basics. You can rename, duplicate the page also. All right. So these are the three things you'll take note lah. The rest should be quite fine. Okay, yeah. So this is Wix. When you are free, you can go and try. Okay, I'm going to change. Now I'm going to switch to WordPress. I'm going to switch to WordPress. Then you'll decide which one you'll prefer. Okay. Okay, first and foremost, right, for WordPress, okay, I quickly give you all the link. If you do not want to purchase now, I think it's good that you have the link first. Okay, WordPress.com is so-called free lah, okay? But of course, if you're using WordPress.com, of course, certain things like your theme, your appearance for your theme might be limited. Okay, but let's say if you do not want to spend money first, you can go WordPress.com. All right, just for fun, so that you know which one you like. Other than that, I'm going to switch to my WordPress. Okay, so this WordPress is not free. Okay, that's hosting. Okay, so usually when you go hosting, right, what happen is they will prompt you for password. Okay, let me go back quickly. Let's say you already bought the hosting from other companies. Let's say, okay? Usually they will give you something like that. You already have the password, everything. Okay? So what happened is, this is how it looks like when you sign in. All right, so this is WordPress already. It's totally different from Wix. Okay, so first and foremost, for WordPress, you have to take note of certain things. First, the appearance. Okay, why appearance is very important? It's like our first impression towards other people, correct? So when you go to appearance, you should be able to see there's a theme. You see, these are all the theme. All right. If you feel it's limited, you can go back to the add new theme. There's an add new theme over here. There you go. There are so many themes. All right, for you to choose from. Now, let's say, as I mentioned, I want to do cupcakes. So I just have to type in cupcakes. You see, there are so many themes for you to choose. All right. Okay, let me choose one that is much simpler lah, for you all to understand. Let's say I already know this theme. So let's say if I already chosen this theme because it has a clean look, I just have to install. So this is WordPress. So this is the first part you have to take note, the appearance. Okay, it's a little bit quite different from the Wix where you can drag and drop. So after installation, right, you have to activate. All right. Okay, once you have activated, now let's take a look at the second thing, which is the plugins. Okay, what are plugins? Plugins is something, the feature whereby they can help you to do certain things. Example, SEO, and maybe they can help you to do in web building. All right. So although you have the team, but you don't have the tools to build your website. Okay. So let's say if I go the second step, you have to go to plugins, whereby you have to add a new plugin. You have to add a new plugin. All right. Now, do you see it says search for plugins? Okay, this plugin you are able to find. This is actually Elementor for free. Elementor. This okay, it's free lah. But of course, there's pros and cons. Then you have to install now. So you realize in WordPress you have to install certain things, then you have to activate. So what is Elementor? Elementor is actually a website builder because without this tool, how are you going to build your website? Theme is different. Theme is just the look and feel. Okay, so I just activate very quickly. I'm not sure you all feel a little bit technical. Okay, just now I mentioned the first one is appearance, the second one is plugin, and the third one is whereby you have to create your own pages. Create your own pages. All right. So that is where you can add your new page. Add your new page. Okay. Okay. One thing I would like to highlight to you. Remember just now when we do the theme, it looks very professional, right? Okay. But the thing is, it doesn't mean that the design will go into your homepage straight away. No, it's just the color, the font, the type. All right. Yeah. The font size. Okay. That is the same. Other than that, right, you still have to create your own design on your own. This is the thing you have to remember. So let's say if I go to home, let's say I type in home, you can edit with Elementor. Let's see what is Elementor. All right. So while waiting, just to let you know, last time before that, there's my time, there's no Elementor. So what happened is we have to go back to the back end and then we preview the front end, then we go to and fro. It's very troublesome. But currently we have Elementor already, so it's much easier. Okay. So what is Elementor for? Now, one thing very important is the concept. If you realize Elementor is quite similar to Wix, is because on your left, they have certain things for you to choose. Example, they have heading, they have image, they have video, everything is there. But what are the pros and cons? It's a drag and drop. All right, drag and drop. So let's say, the cons is if you scroll further down, you realize that a lot of things are locked. It means that you have to upgrade lah. Okay, so you have to take note. Now let's say, do you realize there's a plus box over here in the middle? There's a drag. Yeah, I close this first. There's a drag widget here in the middle. Okay, what is that for? Let's say if I want to have image, I just drag my image inside. There you go, the image will goes in. Okay, and everything, whatever you want to make changes, you have to go to your left. So your left side is like your menu. Everything is there already. Okay, you go back to the choose. Let me see. Got any image or not? Okay, I quickly select one image just to show you lah. Okay. I just select. Ah, okay, now so far not as bad lah. All right, then you have this already. Okay. Other than that, do you see there's a folder? Now let's say when I click on the folder, you have different blocks. But the thing is, if you're using Elementor, they have a lot of things that is pro, 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 pro. Pro meaning what? It means that you have to purchase, you have to upgrade. Okay, so there's a limitation. Okay. of course, we look for something that is, there's no pro, means it's free. Now, if you take a look at the, let's say pages, pages, they also have pages. I guess there is one and only that is without the pro. This one is without the pro. Okay, so I can insert. I can insert. All right. Okay, let me just quickly insert. Okay, let me get started. Okay, I just connect first lah. Apply. Okay, let's take a look what happened. Okay, Mandarin. Okay, while waiting, right, probably I can attend to, wow. Okay, probably I just quickly run through. All right, so what is the best website provider? Usually I use, let's say for website, usually I use WordPress lah, website provider. Yeah, I will use WordPress. All right, to create my portfolio. Yes, because there's more control lah. Last time WordPress is also used for blogs also. Okay, and WordPress, I think WordPress, yeah, Squarespace, I'm attending to Anna, yeah, correct. So for what Squarespace, right? Yeah, last time I used to use Wix and Weebly. It's quite similar to Squarespace. Yeah, it's not cheap also. Yeah, correct. It's expensive. But WordPress has more control, but you have to take note, it's very technical. Okay, so for Shirley, can we type in other languages? Can. Okay, can. You can even have, if you're using WordPress, you can also use the translator. There's a translator whereby you can add in the plugins lah. Wix should have also. Wix also have. Okay, but you have to download your computer settings. You have to change your computer settings also. Install the Chinese language before you can type in. All right. Okay, so in this case, right now, there you go. Do you see the page come out already? This headline grabs. This is the one that I'm using lah. It's free. So every time when you see this image, you just have to click and you just have to change. That's all. Very simple as that. Then if you want to make changes to the text, you just have to, yeah, just, yeah, that's all. Very simple. Just that a lot of things are quite limited lah for this Elementor. All right. Okay, let me just quickly go back to my slides. Okay. So you have a few. Wix is very simple because once you go in, you just have to drag and drop. That's all. Okay, but of course for WordPress, a little bit more technical. You have to add in the theme, add in the plugins as well for the web building, as well as the page. All right, so a little bit technical lah, okay? But it's more flexible for WordPress. All right. Okay, one thing very important, the 3 core pages of a website. Now, home page is your best page. You know why not? Imagine, home page is like your store. Imagine when you go to a shopping mall, you go into the store, how do you feel? Do you feel like going in and know more about this store or not? Okay, so a web page is actually like your salesman, like your silent salesman. All right, so it introduce who you are, and most likely nowadays what we are going to do is we will add in our, our corporate clients, their logos. You can add in testimonials, you can add in reviews on your homepage to get more credential. All right. On the other hand, what is about us? Okay, a lot of people sometimes they feel that okay, about us is not very important, so they just write through or about us, established in which year, correct? But for about us, right, it's good that you share your own story, how you start from nothing to something. Okay, share your story, create more emotional impact so that people will remember you. All right. Although you might think that, okay, about us not important because usually people will go straight to your services and your products, right? Actually, not really. Yeah. Because sometimes if, let's say you are a startup, if people want to get to know more about you, right? Usually they will go into your about us and know more about you. and see if you are trustworthy or not. Okay, so about us is also very important. Try to create your own brand story lah. Okay, brand story. Okay, contact us important or not? Of course, it's important because if there's no contact us, then how are people going to look for you? All right, yeah. So without contact us, nobody is able to look for you. So this is your call to action also lah. You need to give your email. If you have Google Map, yeah, that will be good. You can add in Google Map also, phone number, all right, address, so people know where to find you. All right. Okay, then we have 10 SEO basics. Now, what are the 10 SEO basics? Okay, just to recap very quickly. Now, you realize that every time we go to Google, what happened is we just type in cake. Then what happened? You will see a lot of keywords coming out, right? Like cake Singapore, cake shops, cake decorating, correct? So these are all the keyword research. Okay, so this is SEO, what we are going to do every day. Now imagine your website. Probably they do not know your website. Let's say you're a startup, so people might not know about website. But if you have a very good keywords in your website, when people search, what happen is they will find your website on the first page. I won't say it's the first three lah, okay, but at least it's on the first page. All right. And of course, today you are on the first page doesn't mean that tomorrow you always be on the same first page. You have to keep the maintenance well, lah, okay, for SEO. So for SEO, right, like what I mentioned, find the right words your audience searches for and use them naturally in your content. Okay, what do they mean by that? You know, some people they use the keyword. Example, let's say I'm doing 3D cupcakes, correct? So I purposely keep using the 3D cupcakes to appear in my contents again and again and again and again and again in my contents, let's say, hoping that Google will actually help me to rank. But actually, it's not true because Google know that you're actually spamming the whole website. Okay? That's why they say use them naturally in your content. All right? Then let's say for us, okay, sometimes when you do keyword research, right? Sometimes in our country, let's say we might use t-shirt clothing, we might use clothing, right? But some other countries might not type in the keyword clothing. They might type in apparels. They might type in something else. All right, so the keyword is different. Depends on your target audience. Okay, title, text, and meta description. You have to be very clear, catchy titles and summaries that show up in search results and encourage clicks. This is what they meant. The title tag is very important and the description. Yeah, this is how it looks like. Your title tag, online cake shop Singapore, artisan and premium cake. The moment you see premium, you know who are the audience already. Those audience who are willing to pay. Okay? Then customized birthday cake delivery in Singapore. So who are the audience? Those people who like to have personalized birthday cakes. Okay. So make sure your website is, the web address is clean and simple. Example, this is winniecupcake.com/services /3D cupcakes. And one thing very important, must be mobile friendly. Must be mobile friendly. Okay, why mobile friendly? To be frank, last time we don't have smartphone. My era don't have smartphone. Okay, so what happened is after that when they started, right? What happened is if you realize that it's not responsive, meaning that if you want to press on certain buttons on your mobile phone, it's very difficult for us to hit the button. Okay, so this is what they meant by mobile friendly. Nowadays we are using mobile lah, so you must make sure it works in all devices, or phone and tablets. Okay, fast loading speed. Do you realize nowadays consumer behavior, they are more impatient? We cannot wait, correct? So if your website is very slow, you will lose a lot of visitors and rankings already. Okay? Yeah, this is like mobile friendly lah, mobile friendly. If you realize, then okay, quality content. Now SEO is not about keywords only. SEO is, let's say example, when you talk about keywords and when people click on your page, the keywords must be relevant. Your content must be relevant. All right, with your keywords. Example, let's say I'm talking about 3D cupcakes, and afterwards in my content, I didn't talk about 3D cupcakes. I talk about something else. What happened? In this case, right, usually you will have Google will not rank you already because they feel that it's irrelevant. Okay, that's why SEO actually a lot of things plays a part lah. Okay, not only for the keywords. Okay, the content is also plays a part, a very huge portion. Internal linking. Okay, links between your pages help search engines understand your site structure and keep visitors engaged. All right, so make sure there are links. Okay, what do they mean by links? Now, let's say, right, let's say on every page you might want to add in contact us, correct? So that when people, let's say I'm on the services page, at least when I click, I know who to contact. Okay, so you try to have links in between pages. And secure websites. Do you realize nowadays we have HTTPS? Yeah, these are called SSL certificates. Now, without SSL certificates, right, the HTTPS, sometimes Google will block. Then we'll have issue already. So imagine if someone else is going into your website, they are not able to access, then you have problem. Because without the S means what? It's not secure. All right, so you have to take note. So when you purchase your domain, correct, what happened is one thing you have to very important, you have to take note whether the HTTPS is free or not free because some providers, right, you have to pay for the extra SSL certificate. So you have to know all this thing lah. You have to take note. Okay. Okay, okay, the last two. Now, proper use of heading like H1, H2, just now I got mentioned. Uh, welcome to ASK. Okay, this is heading one, let's say. Heading two will be something hell. Maybe basic website for everyone. Okay, this could be heading two. All right, so make sure it's organized for every page. Okay, lastly, there is this alternate text for images. Okay, this one probably a little bit technical. Okay, it means that you have to, whenever we do something else, right, we have to put description for the images so that in case there is a broken links or in case the connection has problem, instead the text will appear. Let's say the images are not able to load, right? At least the text will appear. Describe this is a 3D cupcakes, or maybe describe this is a vanilla cupcakes. Okay, so this is for alternate text for images lah. Okay, a little bit technical lah for this. All right. So we have come to the end for this WordPress and Wix and all about the important pages to take note as well as the 10 SEO. Okay, so now we are talking about the design and functionality. Okay, I just run through very quickly. Design functionality. Okay, is branding very important or not? Yes. When you do your branding, okay, branding is like what? The first thing, if you want to have fast food, what's the first thing that comes to your mind if you want fast food? Some people might say McDonald's, some might say KFC, correct? Okay, Moss Burger. So when you do branding, right, you must know what is the color that you want to use, what is the font that you want to use, but limit your site to 2 or 3 fonts, or else it will be very messy. All right, then keep it consistent. Okay, choose a color palette that reflects your brand personality. Later, I'll give you a link based on the color if you like to know about more about color psychology. Yeah, so when people see this color, right, they can relate to you. Okay. Okay, brand consistency very important, like what I mentioned. Now, every time you see yellow and red, what comes to your mind for fast food? McDonald's, correct? Yeah, so brand consistency very important. Okay. Okay, let me quickly share with you the links. Then you can see from here. Mm. Okay, later I'll give you the links for the color. Mm. Yeah, if you are a person who likes to know more about colors, all right, then I shall, yeah, you can read through from there. And then if you realize what is consistency, I think the one that everyone knows, Apple. Yeah, look at Apple, right? It's very consistent. It's very clean. It's always so clean for Apple. All right. You look at the colors, the fonts, and of course the call to action very important. You know why? If you see this call to action, learn more and buy, which one will you choose? Will you choose to learn more or will you choose to buy? So these are all the things that you have to take note now when you do design. So when you do designing, it's not about just to make it nicer, but rather how you guide your users or your potential customers. What is the next step? You have to guide them, or else they won't know what to do. Okay, so buttons are also very important. All right. Okay, yeah, this is Sally speaking. Mm. This is how it looks like. All right. Mm. Okay, so for contact form, right? Uh, contact form important or not? Yes, contact form is very important. So like for this Sally's baking, I just give you the link so that you can see from there. Okay, for e-commerce, usually I'll use WordPress, sorry. For e-commerce, usually I will use WordPress. You know why? Because last time I used to use Wix. Then after that, I want to sell something, right? I have to pay extra more. So I rather use WordPress because they have the built-in, they have the plugin called WooCommerce. WooCommerce. So it's actually less costly lah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mobile friendly. Later I show you. Don't worry. It's inside already. Huh. Okay. Okay. For this contact page, right? Contact page means what? Probably you can also not only for contact page, you can have something like, okay, if you want to know more about that, you can sign up with us. Uh, Okay, why do we need all this? Because we need to get this to generate leads, get potential customer also lah. Okay, social media links important or not? Social media links. All right. Okay, let me quickly switch to my Wix again. Okay, do you realize for Wix? Let me go back. Okay. Okay, let's say you if you realize that just now if you mentioned about the mobile, right? Okay, you realize that on top of the Wix, actually they have this mobile responsive over here. Over here, there's a mobile responsive. Okay, so mobile responsive meaning that if you want to check whether it looks good in your mobile, you can click on this mobile responsive. And if you want to make changes, you can drag along the way here. Okay, means you have to switch both. But if you drag along the way here, let's say you make changes to your mobile responsive, right? Make sure you have to check your desktop also because sometimes certain things might run. Okay, so don't worry because everything is built in already. Not like last time we have to put coding for the mobile responsive lah. Or nowadays no need already. Okay. Then if you realize just now we mentioned about the social links, why social links are important? Now social links are used for awareness, correct or not? Like your social media, your Facebook, is to build awareness so that you can put your link in your example, your Facebook or Instagram, right? Then people, when they click on the social link, what happen is it will go to your website. So social link is very important. Okay, so it can be found under these add elements in Wix also. Over here. All right, there drag and drop. Everything drag and drop. Okay. Then you can even set your social links lah, whereby you can change your links, the address of the links. Okay, www Instagram. All right. Okay, so far so good. Later I just run through everything at one go. Then I will see whoever questions has not been attend. I will look through from the chat. All right, in case I miss out. Okay, the next one right is analytics. You see, there are so many things for us to look at when we do our website. So it might need a lot of time. Okay. Okay, what are analytics? Now, analytics is actually like website analytics is used to collect your and analyze your data about how people use your site. Okay, why this is important? Now, imagine last time when we used to study, we have our what subjects, right? We have English, mathematics, science, history, correct? So in this case, how are you going to know that how well do you score for individual project, individual subject? Uh, Okay, so that is where by analytics is very important. So actually analytics, this is how it looks like. Analytics. This is how it looks like. So from there, you're able to know that how many new users actually go to your website. This one a little bit technical. This is how it looks like. I show you first. Whether the trend is going up or going down. So if it's going down, right, then you have to ask yourself this question. Hey, how come my website lesser and lesser visitors? What's going on? So nowadays, like what I mentioned, right, it's no longer like our era whereby you just put your website and you just leave it there forever. No, you realize that consumer behavior has changed already because they're always looking for new things. So if you realize the trend's going down, you have to take note already. Why is going down? Is it because it's not engaging enough? Is it because should I add in certain things that is maybe to bring in more attention? So that they every time they comes into my website, they know what to look for. All right. Then they even have United States. Do you see? You know which user comes from where? United States lah, Brazil. How come? Do you target the right audience or not? You have to ask yourself this question now. Okay. So marketing doesn't mean that as long you do all those things, then you'll get leads or clients. Actually, not really. Marketing is more on after you do certain action, you must know, you must analyze, does this outcome actually benefits you or not? If it's not right, then you have to change your strategy already. So direct means what? Means this person already know your website. Yeah, they just type in directly. These are all the details. Okay. Yeah. They even tell you that which day is better. Which day? More people. What is the timing like? They even tell you all that. And of course, they also mention about let's say you know that they always go to homepage very often, or maybe they go to your certain product page very often. Then you know that that page is a popular page. Okay, so one thing I just want to highlight to you, SEO doesn't mean that you just do your homepage. SEO means that you have to do individual pages, individual keywords lah. You have to do keywords for individual pages, like product page lah. You have to do SEO. About us page, you have to do SEO. All right, that's why it requires a lot of time. Okay, yeah, this is how it looks like. All right, okay. Uh, you give me a minute. I just show you the live demo. Yeah, this is analytics. So you know that live, wow, 63% is viewing your website now from India, from United States, from China, from Japan. Okay, so these are called analytics. Huh? All right. Okay, quickly run through. Okay. Did I just wrap up everything? Because I know it can be quite too many things going on. So, okay, why is this important? Why do we need to know about analytics? Because if you know about analytics, you will know your audience. Who are your audience? Are they the right audience you are looking for? Correct? Measure performance so that you know that which pages or which keyword bring the most traffic. All right. Improve conversions. Okay, conversion meaning what? Instead of just going into your website and then go away, they would rather stay in your website and look for more. And probably they could be your customer. All right. Track growth over time just to monitor trends to see if your marketing and SEO efforts are working. Okay, like what I mentioned, marketing is not just one time. You have to see the trends or that. So must be very, very fast lah. You must know the trend. Then make data-driven decisions because without all these fact and figures, if there's no data for us to look at, how are we going to assume? We cannot assume, right? We cannot assume that I think it's good, I think it's not good, correct? You have to see the fact and figure. That is where we know that whether we are on the right track or not. All right? Okay. Okay, so let me look at the. Okay, so we have these free resources images whereby I'm not sure you have heard of Unsplash or not. Unsplash. Unsplash, Pixels, and Pixel Bay. All right. Okay, let me show you quickly. Okay. Okay, for those certain, okay, just now I saw the chat. So certain questions a little bit technical lah. So I'll put on hold first. All right. Okay, let's say for free resources, Unsplash. All right, okay, let me just quickly go through. What is Unsplash? Then you can run through. This is Unsplash. Okay, these are all the links. So Unsplash, if you see something like a plus, it means it's not free lah. Oh, it's not free. You choose those without the plus sign. All right. So if you're using all these images, right, you have to read through the terms and condition, whether you need to credit or not. Okay. If you're going to use it on your website, especially on a website. Then we also have whereby we have these pixels. Pixels are also one of the stock photos. One of the stock photos. You can choose photos or videos. You can choose video also. So if you want to, let's say you want to have more uh, engage, let's say you want to have it more engaging in your website, right? Probably you want to add in more videos, more attractive lah. But cannot add in too many videos because it will slow your website down. Okay. Then the next one will be Pixabay. Usually I use Pixabay quite a lot because they have photos, they have illustrations. These are all the illustrations. Some people like illustration. That's why you have to depends on what type of branding you're going for. All right. Then vectors. These are all vectors. They also got videos and music lah. All right. And even sound effect. Okay. Yeah. So this is Pixabay. Other than that, right, we have free resources for icons. Okay, so I just run through a few just for you. We can take a look at Font Awesome. Yeah, these are all the icons you can use. What classic, all this font. Actually, not font, it's more icons lah. All these icons you can use. All right, like file, camera, smiley face. Okay, okay. And Flaticon and icon, yeah, icon monstery. Icon monstery. Yeah, these are icon monstery. All right, so y'all can have a look. Other than that, right, these are all the free resources, but of course, certain things are not really totally free. You have to take a look. Design inspiration, right? Probably you can go to Dribble. Dribble. I just show you maybe one or two lah. This is Dribble. Uh, world's top designers. You can see how they do it lah. All right, and also maybe one more whereby there is this all words. All this designing part. Or just for inspiration. But of course, certain things might not be very this one the color bit too strong. Okay, but you can take it as inspiration. All right. Okay. Okay, we are coming towards the end. So I just run through the 5 common pitfalls to avoid. All right. Okay, first and foremost, right, make sure you have a goal. You know why? Because if you don't have a clear goal of what you're going to do, you cannot just assume what consumers like, your audience like. Okay? You have to find out what they really like or by through surveys. Okay. So when you do your website, make sure you must know what you want. Who are your audience? Okay. What is your brand personality? Brand personality meaning what? Do you want when you build a website, right? When the moment when people go into your website, does it look cheerful or does it look very like very professional and very let's say very formal? You have to decide on that already. Okay, messy design. If you have heard before that less is more, yeah, sometimes less is really more. Like you look at Apple, it's very clean. It's always very clean. Okay, so try not to use those bad colors like strong contrasting colors. You have to take note lah because it's very hard to read. Okay, so for a while people will just walk away. Okay, ignoring mobile users. Now, remember just now when we use analytics, right? You realize that most of the users nowadays are actually using mobile already. So if, to be frank, sometimes when we use desktop to build our website, it's much more easier. But when you do the integration for these mobile users, right? For the mobile, you realize that certain things, the loading might get slower. Then you realize that certain structure will run, the layout will run. So all these things you have to take note. So that is why in the weeks you realize you can actually you can actually view the mobile icon so that whereby you can check whether it's responsive or not, whether it's in alignment or not for all the text and images. Okay. Yeah, just like I mentioned, right? Slow loading speed. Mhm. Okay, so you have to check all this lah. Or for your devices, all your devices, computer, your laptop, your mobile. And lastly, skipping SEO basics. Now, some people feel that, okay, never mind lah. I think SEO is very simple, so I don't have to do SEO anymore. They can find my website on their own. Actually, not really. So it's better for you to do your own SEO. Okay, so that your website can be seen. All right. Okay, now a simple checklist for going live. These are all the simple checklists. Yeah, it's around 10, 10 checklists. First, these are all the most basic one. First, very important, you must make sure your domain is connected to your website. Okay, means that you have to purchase your domain already if possible. All right. Now, if you purchase your domain for, let's say, for 1 year, some people they already purchased their domain 3 months ago. Then they do their website after 6 months. Actually, uh, it's not a very good choice lah. So, if possible, right, you make sure you already prepared. Maybe you take 2 to 3 months to finish your website. Okay. So to make it more worthwhile lah. Okay, so make sure your domain is connected. Secondly, make sure your SSL is working. Like what I mentioned, SSL is the HTTPS. So not every provider, right, will give you for free. You have to read the terms, everything very carefully. Okay, then mobile friendly, mobile friendly. Like what I mentioned, very often, right, everyone is using phone already, including us, correct? So must be responsive on phones and tablets so that it's easier for us to click, especially the call to action. Okay, no broken links. Okay, why no broken links? Imagine, let's say if you have a link there, you click contact us. Let's say you put contact us. And when people click on the contact us, it go elsewhere or nothing happen. What will happen? People cannot get through you. Okay, so try to make sure every buttons, every hyperlinks go through the correct pages, web pages. Okay. Okay, form very important. Ensure the form works. So a form works meaning what? You have to key in your own email address. Okay, make sure you will receive. Okay, so before even you go on live, make sure you try out. Uh, After you publish, right? Make sure you try out, see whether you receive the form or not. Okay. Okay, number six. This is number six. So we have finished five already, simple checklist. Okay, for number six, right, spelling and grammar check. This one very important because imagine when they go into your website and there are so many spelling mistakes, people will think that, wow, this person is not very serious. You don't even go and do a very simple, quick spelling check. All right. Now, basic SEO also very important. Basic SEO. Just now I keep mentioning about SEO, like titles, descriptions, heading. Make sure it's in place. Okay. Then Google Analytics to track visitors. Yeah. So that you know who are your users, your target audience. Is it correct target audience or not? And backup very important. Okay. Why I say backup very important? Just now I got mentioned just now, very early part. Recently, because I was busy recently, I forget to do a backup. Okay. Then recently, because of some plugins, I think they updates. Then my whole WordPress, I realized that, how come got error? So you have to take note. Make sure you do a backup. Okay. Don't wait for something to happen. Because you never know. And lastly, the privacy policy page for trust and compliance. All right. Okay. So this one is a very quick one. Now, this is the last part already. How to maintain and update your site very easily. First thing, keep your software updated. Always update your website. your platform, your themes, your plugins. If you're using plugins, right, try not to add in too many plugins. Don't take it for granted. It's like our handphone. If we install too many applications, what happens is it will slow down our handphone, correct? So same goes to your WordPress, okay? Or even any of the website. It could be Wix also, okay? Second, regular backups. Just now I already mentioned, right? Regular backups very important. Don't wait until you feel that something is wrong, because you will never know what will happen the next moment. So always do a regular backups, okay? Okay, now the third one is schedule your content updates. Yeah, plan regularly to add in fresh contents. Like what I mentioned, last time consumer they just go into your website and read about the information, but now the consumer behavior has changed. They want to see fresh new stuff. So last time, I remember I went to an online shop whereby they sell clothes. So for this online shop, right, every Monday, they will have new clothes coming out. So I know that every Monday, I will go into the website to look for any new clothes or not, so that people will keep going back instead of forgetting your website. All right. Okay. Then the next one is monitor your performance. Why you need to monitor your performance? You have to track your site speed. Why is that so? Because sometimes we add in too many things. Correct. We add in too many contents or too many videos or images, and if you didn't compress your images, it will slow down your whole website. All right. And then lastly, you have to check security regularly. Means you have to run scans to keep your site safe lah. Okay, so these are all the things you have to take note. All right. Okay, before I move on to Q&A, I just run through very quickly. I think I just give me 3 minutes lah. I just run through very quickly. What are the things we have learned today? All right. The first section, what we have learned is we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of WordPress and Wix. Okay. Uh, these are all the advantages and disadvantages. So just now we are talking about WordPress, which one to choose, and which one to choose. Of course, if you are going to use WordPress, you have maximum control. But the thing is, technically, certain things you still have to handle on your own. This is the cons for WordPress. If you are a technical person, still all right. Okay, you can go and Google and search what happened. But if you are not ready for that, of course, Wix will be better. But Wix, you know that for hosting partner, Wix is like your Weebly, your what, Weebly, Wix, all right? All these are actually drag and drop, okay? Like Squarespace, these are like drag and drop. That's why certain things you realize is quite expensive, unlike WordPress, okay? So slightly more expensive lah, okay? But it's much easier. So you all decide which one you want. Then I mentioned the two important things, which is the domain. Domain means what? You have to purchase your domain, because domain is like your website address. If you don't have domain, then how people going to look for you? Okay. Then hosting means what? Hosting means that imagine you have let's say your address, right? But you don't have a house, then how are they going to look for you? So this is where hosting comes in. So if you go, let's say if you log into Wix, right? You realize that the hosting is with Wix already. You don't have to worry so much. But of course, like what I mentioned, along the way, if you're going to add in more and more, for Wix, it will be very costly. Okay. Then the second thing we talk about is the next thing we talk about is the three important pages for website, which is home, about us, and contact lah. These are the most important pages. All right. We even talk about the SEO, search engine optimization. Okay. And don't forget to give your branding a story. Make sure your fonts, everything, try not to have more than 2 or 3 fonts. Make it as consistent as possible so that when people look at your website, they know it comes from you. This is your brand identity. It's like when I see you, I look at you, I know this is who you are. All right? Mm. Then we also talk about analytics lah. Analytics. Analytics for just now, I think someone mentioned about analytics. How to link? Very good question. Depends on which platform you're using. Are you using Wix or are you using WordPress? If you use WordPress, you have to use the site kit to install already. This one a little bit technical lah. You have to use the site kit plugins to install already. For Wix, is usually much easier. You can just connect. but you must have your Google Analytics ready lah. Okay. Then we also talk about the resources, the free resources, and the 5 common pitfalls to avoid. You have to avoid. All right. Like slow loading, speed, all this you have to take note. And we also talk about the simple checklist in my slides. And lastly, how to maintain and update your site easily. These are all the things we have learned just now. All right. So far, so good. Okay, just now I saw a lot of questions. Okay. So before I attend to the Q&A, all right, I would like to thank you for attending today's webinar. Don't worry, later I'll just look through the chat. So if you want to receive the presentation slides, can you help me to fill in the form in the link provided? I think, I'm not sure, did they give you the link? Let me check. Yeah. Okay, don't worry, because there's too many things going on, right? So if you like the slides, correct, the slides, you can paste the link here. Please submit the form. I think, do you see, if you take a look at your chat box, do you see ASK? Hi, all, you can download the slides on our website. This is the link. Please submit the form. Okay. Then you will receive the slide. I'm not sure they'll see this or not. Is this the link? Let me, can? Just above. Yeah, this is the link. Yeah, correct. All right. So if you want to learn more about WordPress, to be frank, because 1.5 hour, actually, for website, you really need a lot of time. So what I'm doing now is just introduction so that at least you'll know a little bit more. Okay. So if you want to learn more about this, this what happened is we have this WSQ WordPress website creation. Yeah, all right. WSQ WordPress creation. And we have search engine optimization and copywriting and content writing, as well as the website and landing page optimization. So we have this SCTP program also. All right. You can visit our website for more. So if you want, you can scan this QR code. Yeah. Like what I mentioned now, Wix is easier to use. Weebly, all right, these are actually much easier to use. But the thing is, when you have the control, right, you don't have really have the full control lah, okay, over it. So depends on whether you are a technical person or not. Okay. Then, okay, so ASK Training is a continuing education and training center. So what happened is we offer a diverse range of courses from digital marketing to IT, infrastructure, trail and operations with up to 95% funding and job placement programs. So what we have is advanced certificate in digital marketing, diploma in digital marketing, and specialist diploma in digital marketing. Okay, so if you're interested, uh, feel free to look for them. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. I can scroll down this form. Okay, let me quickly have a look. See how fast I can just run through. There's a lot of chat going on. Okay. So while you're preparing the form, yeah, you're filling in the form. Probably I'll just quickly run through what are the chats I might miss out. Okay. Okay. Okay, very good question for Hong Kui. If you build your site on Wix, can you easily move the site over to WordPress or to start? Okay, answer is no. You know why? Because last time when I used Wix, I want to port over to WordPress. I remember last time there's one, I forget many years ago already. I remember there's one thing where you can just download, correct? But at the end of the day, all your design will run. So it's actually a no lah. Okay, so Squarespace is a little bit like your Weebly and your Wix. It's a drag and drop. But of course, just now I saw someone mentioning Squarespace is not cheap also, especially if you add on. All right, this is for Hong Kui lah. Okay. Okay, let me so far check the websites Wix and GoDaddy. Okay, Wix.com, yes, is a website. To be frank, GoDaddy also have their web builder, but it's limited. Limitation, there's limitation. So if you don't mind, just do a very simple one. Actually, GoDaddy also have. When you purchase their domain, right? They also have a web builder if you don't mind lah. But if you want customization, then it is better for you to use either Wix or WordPress already. Of course, WordPress is much better lah if you want more customization. Yeah. Okay, so Zoe is the same lah. Wix is for design, GoDaddy is for domain. Yes, GoDaddy is for domain, but also got web builder also. Simple one. And just now you mentioned about Squarespace also, right? Yeah, it's quite similar. It's quite web website provider. Usually we use WordPress lah. For Anna, yeah, use WordPress. Just that you have to choose the correct provider when you do hosting. Make sure the storage, because you have 10 over videos, newspaper, all that, right? You have to see the plan. So you have to check the hosting already. Is it for like Vodiana, Bluehost? You see which one is more cater to your needs. Their storage and their, yeah, all that. Okay. Their load, the speed. Then Shirley, can the design type text be typed in other languages? Yes, because the time also type in other languages. They can also have translation using plugin. So for Wix, if you look for translator, right? Translation, those kind of icon, right? When you click on it, you can change the Mandarin also can. But before that, you have to, if you want to type it on your own, right? Before that, you have to download into your laptop first. If you want to type it on your own, okay? Wix have plugins, but it's more on apps, not really plugins for Joanna. All right. Mm. Then for you say not yet in full screen mode. Oh, okay. If you're talking about Wix and WordPress, I think WordPress still all right. If you're talking about Wix, right, actually there are more things inside Wix whereby you can play around with lah. Just that because the time, not enough time. So later you can go into Wix.com. You can change to full width. Uh, okay. Thank you for organizing. Okay, so we create the website using Wix or WordPress first before we buy the domain. Okay, very good question. We buy the domain and hosting first. But of course, before that, you must think first lah. Do you want to have Wix or domain? Wix or WordPress? WordPress is more technical, like what I mentioned. Although it says beginner, you can drag and drop, right? But at the end of the day, if you are going to use Elementor, free plugin for WordPress, you realize that Elementor also not free. A lot of things is actually locked, means you still have to pay. Uh, so you have to weigh lah, which one is better for your own needs. Do you need a lot of storage? All right, how much storage do you need? Like let's say for I think Anna, right? You have 10 to over 20 videos, then you probably will need a lot of storage and loading speed very important for you already. Okay. Okay, very good question. For peeling. Okay, what happened to our data if the hosting provider closed down? Yes. Okay, that is why, let's say touch wood lah. I don't talk about any company. Let's say we have this company, example, something like Wix lah, Weebly lah, whatever, those drag and drop type, right? We cannot have full control over our hosting, right? That is where your files are with them, then yes, you have to recreate totally. But why do we use WordPress? Because for WordPress, we are able to, using a plugin, we are able to export our files with us. So in case we change provider, right, we can just import. That's all. That's the difference lah. That's why a lot of people change to WordPress. Okay. Actually, not really leh. I don't think for LY Lim, does hosting provider gives updates, reports, or any trials or not? Actually, not really leh. Nowadays, you realize that Very difficult. Everything now you have to do it manually. Even if you want to call them, right, you realize that sometimes a little bit difficult. Everything is in the chat already. You have to use the chat bot. WordPress to, wow. Actually, you're right. For Anna, yeah, correct. If you want to change your portfolio from WordPress to Squarespace, usually you will start from scratch because you know why? The design is totally different. Huh. Okay. Okay, let me see something else. Mobile friendly design, just now I mentioned already, huh? You just click on the icon will do. Which site to use for e-commerce? WordPress. Because you use Wix, if you use Wix or those kind of drag and drop, right, it might be very costly. Okay, they will keep adding on. So like what I mentioned, last time I use Wix. So what happened is I have to pay for, I think per year, $400 over. Sometimes will be more costly also. How to remove pop-up ads on website? Mm. Okay, some people, right, pop-up ads on website. Okay, I'm not sure for YT, right? Pop-up ads on website, I'm not sure is this intention or not. You know why not? Because some website they usually have the pop-up. You know why? Just to gain attention. They want to get leads. So maybe there's a pop-up saying that okay, you can download free ebooks for now, but you have to fill in the form. But if you're talking about ads, they have to depends already there. This could be a different thing already. All right. Okay, for Toll YC, right? Just now you mentioned how to link Google Analytics to web page for tracking. You must know which platform you are using. If you are using Wix.com, it's much easier lah. Okay, but certain things sometimes still a little bit of hiccups there and that. You have to go to Google Analytics, whereby you find your Google tag. There's a Google tag whereby you can use. All right, then you copy and paste. If you are using WordPress, then you have to install the site kit, SITEKIT, SITEKIT, then to connect. All right. For this will be provided by hosting services. I don't think Saravana, no leh. The analytics will be provided by hosting services. Let me see. Do you know? Let me quickly read. How do you know? Okay, regarding the analytics data, I see if I can show you now. Okay, how do you know if the website you build is mobile or iPad friendly or not before it's done? Okay, very good question. Every time if you build your website, right, you have to check on your own. By default, nowadays, everything is responsive. Not like last time, we have to add in the coding ourselves. We have to do all the coding. Now don't need already. You just have to look for, let me end the show. So far okay now for the rest before I move on quickly to answer all the questions as much as I can. Okay, anything to scan before I move on? Okay, let me just quickly. Yeah, just now we mentioned about the website. Okay. Okay, just now we are talking about the website whereby we have the weeks. Yeah, this is the one. You have to switch to mobile and check. So before you launch, even if you publish, right, before you publish, you must check from here already. All right. Okay. Then how do you know? Okay, is there? May I check if they are recording? Okay. How do I enter SEO information? Okay. For Ryan Low, right? If you have enter SEO information. Okay, let me. I missed out one person. Shireen. Okay, Shireen, right? Where do I enter the SEO information? Very good question. If you are using Wix, it's different. If you are using Wix, right? Just now you realize there's a SEO over there. Hang on, Okay, let me see. Okay. So they have mobile settings. All right. Weak search, search results. Okay. Then if you're talking about the SEO, right? If you're talking let me see, let me go back to my WordPress. Mm, okay. Let me log in first. Yeah, okay. Let's say if you're using WordPress, right? Then you have to install the plugin. Example. It's a plugin. You look for SEO already under add new plugin. So like what I mentioned, because all those website things, right, it can be very technical because it really depends on your platform you're using. You realize that Wix has different platform. And then if you use WordPress, right, then you can search for SEO. There are so many type of SEO, like rank math lah, use SEO lah. So when you activate already, right, what happen is you have to key in on every page. On every page. Let's say your homepage you must do, your about us page you must also do it as well lah. All right. So for Ryan Low, I have an existing domain. You can use it, but you check your renewal date nah. Make sure you don't forget about renewal date nah. You must renew before the domain expire. Okay. How to publish the design to go live? Usually there's a publish button on the right hand side. Usually lah. Okay. Yeah, usually there's a publish button there over here, top right corner. You just have to find the publish button. Okay, when you purchase a domain name for Hongkui, when you purchase a domain name, right? Does it mean that it's hosted by the company you purchase from it? No. Okay, for my case, right, I purchased my domain name in GoDaddy. All right, but I didn't host in GoDaddy because sometimes I compare prices lah. I host in somewhere else. But of course, we try not to do that lah. You know why? Because if technically, right, if you're not very familiar with connecting all the name server, DNS, what happen is it will cause you a lot of problems. Then later, if you look for the domain provider, they will ask you to find the hosting provider. Then hosting provider will ask you to look for domain provider. So if this is a startup, let's say you're doing a startup, you're not very sure about all this thing, it's better to purchase the domain and hosting together in the same company. Although it might be a little bit costly lah, slightly lah. Okay. Okay, backup is the same thing. You can add in a plugin, all right? Google Sites pros and cons compare Google Sites for Sandy Tan. Google Sites a little bit like a simple web builder lah. Simple web builder. So if you don't mind, let's say you just want a simple website, then Google Sites is okay. Well, how about creating and using vibe coding coded that has the full functionality back end? Okay, let's say if you want to have full functionality, front end, back end, payment, all that, right? I suggest you use WordPress lah. Because like what I mentioned, WordPress has more control. WordPress has more control. All right. Then for Lina, right? If you have already filled in the form, I guess you can download the slides there already. Can? Let me see. Load the okay. The slides will be sent. Okay. Let me see. So far, so good. Okay. All right. Just now you all mentioned, okay, this one just a quick one, just a quick one, because like what I mentioned is it's not as simple as I can just tell you now, then you can do it. If you're talking about analytics, right? Wait, you have to log into your Google Analytics. All right. After you log in into your Google Analytics, you have to go back to the data, correct? There's an admin over here on your bottom left corner. Do you see the blue color box? All right. After the blue color box, you just go to data stream on your left. Data stream on your left. You should be able to see there's this ID. You should be able to see the ID. All right. So what happened is you can also copy the code. Then this is Google Tag. If you want to copy and paste into your web page, paste into your web page. then depends on you already. Are you all using like what I mentioned, usually I use WordPress lah, so I will paste into WordPress already. Okay, but if you're using Wix, then you have to follow the Wix instruction. Inside Wix, they will tell you how to connect. So far, so good. Let me see. All right. Okay, let me stop sharing. So far, okay. Hopefully, I get to answer all your questions.
Yeah, sorry, Winnie. I think we need to pass that to
Yeah,
NLB.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. I think you pass. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for all your time. All right. Make sure you fill in the form and you get your slides now, all right? Mm.
All right. Hi, thank you, Winnie, for spending and giving us a good insight about how to build your website through various platforms like Wix and WordPress. So before we end today's session, I'd like to share some of our library resources. Just give me a second. Okay, so for library resources recommendation, okay, so in order to get updated the upcoming digital programs that NLB can provide, you can actually scan the QR code as shown on the screen, or you can visit our website go.gov.sg/DRAPROGS. So once you actually see any of the programs that you're interested at, you can actually register via the links that appear upon the selection. And do keep in touch with us with our mailing list. So if you are part of the mailing list, any upcoming programs or interesting things or resources that you want to share, you'll be updated via email. So if you would like to be part of the mailing list, you can just type link3./NLBDRA. And before we end, we like to have some feedback to improve our programs. What you want to see in the future? How can we improve our current programs that we have by scanning with QR code as shown on the screen? Or you can visit go.gov.sg/surveymdl. So thank you again for spending your evening, night already lah. Spending your night with us. I hope you enjoy and learn a thing or two about building your website. And like to thank Winnie again for today's session. So yeah, so have a good rest, have a good weekend, and hope to see you all very soon. Yeah, thank you. Bye.